Good afternoon, YouTube. Today I am doing an oil change service on a Honda Pioneer 1000. Honda Pioneer 1000 side by side. Okay, your engine sits down underneath. This is the rear of the vehicle, rear wheel. Okay, this is the running board and the steps, and I have the skid plate down so I can get to the drain plug. That big circle right there on the top, this right here, that's where your filter is. This is another filter for the transmission, and I'll show you the model numbers for those. We're just doing an oil change. I don't know why it's not focusing. Anyhow, it doesn't want to focus. Okay, there we go. That's better. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass to get to the fill, so I'm going to show you. So this is the rear door on the driver's side. Let me get it open. All right. There's an access panel right here, and you can see that's your fill. Okay, this is the back. This is, believe it or not, this is where you test the fill level. I'm gonna have to clean that out with some brake clean. But all right, it uses these pain in the ass pins. There's no way they're in like that, and then there's no way to get them unpinned. So you have to use, I'm going to show you, it's on the other side. And they're flush. This is the plastic panel that sits, let me put the glove down. It sits basically over here, down up in here like this. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pins. There's only 3 here, so someone was in here before. This pin was missing. So you have these pins, like I said. I have 3 left. There's 2 on this side. You got to use a pick to kind of get under the lip, and then have a tool like this so that you can get up under it like this. Okay, like I said, this is flush. There's no way to pull it out, so you're just gonna have to pry them out if they don't break. This one you can see has already been chipped on one side, so you pry them out, and then once they're out, you can reset them. You can pull the pin out. You just push down, and then when you need to put them back in, you can put them in easy. But okay, so you get this. This is your, it says here, not a step, not a step. This is up under here. That's gonna be a pain in the ass to get it in there. But it goes up under here. I'll do that later. We'll show you. But so now we have access. There's the fill. Here's your engine, and there's supposedly 2 drain plugs. So I'm gonna have to look underneath for those drain plugs. But at least we have that. You're going to want to open that up so that it breathes and it empties out. Run the engine for about 5-10 minutes to warm up the oil, and then let it drain. So I'm going to get to the next step. Okay, if you're motivated like me and you don't feel like getting oil all over the place and cleaning the skid pan, drop the skid pan. Okay, you have a big giant skid pan up front, and then you have a small skid pan. This is the rear skid pan back here. These are all fastened with these giant washers and 10mm bolts. These are all 10mm. This is for the front. This whole slew of them is for the rear. Okay, so I dropped that down, and you see I'm going to clean this all off, all this debris. He's got cholla cactus and all kinds of dirt and stuff. I want to show you the drain plugs. Okay, this is the rear drain plug. This is the engine. You see here's the where the oil filter goes. You come straight down. It's on the right side, and then this is the other sump. You have to open these both up. They are both, okay, 12, I don't know if you can read that, 12mm. 12mm. Both of them. 12mm. Okay, so we're going to open up top. We're going to open up the fill hole, so that it can let air in and it will drain good. And I'm going to put, number one, I'm going to clean this up and get it out of the way. And then I'm going to put a pan under here and drain this. And then we'll put the filter in, a new filter. And then we'll clean this all over, brake clean. And then we'll put the skid plate back up. All right, so I'm just going to take these out, open up the top. I'll be back. Okay, so we're fully drained. Those, again, to reiterate, 12 millimeters. This green one, I don't know how yours is going to be indicated, but this is the green one is the rear one that goes back here. The silver one goes up front here. So those are draining. The screws are out of here. The nuts, the bolts rather, and those are 10 millimeter. There's 3 of them. The top one, you're gonna have to use a box wrench to get up in there because you can't get a socket up in there. This frame stops you from getting a socket in there. Unless you use like a quarter inch socket with a really shorty, you could probably get in there, but I did it with a box wrench. Okay, I'm gonna open this up next and take the filter out. Okay, so I got the cover off for the oil filter, and it's a pretty, I don't know, stupid design. It's above the other cover. It just spills all over the engine casing. You can see it comes down all over everything, all over the frame. So you're gonna need some brake parts cleaner to clean all that crap up, and you will need a heavy duty, I'm talking a serious pick, to get it out because it's got an O-ring and it's in there good. It's in there really good. So you're gonna have to really pry it off. So that's where we are now. Of course, the cover fell in my bucket along with the spring, so I can't show you that right now. I'm gonna fish it out of here, but I had the bucket under there to catch all this oil and the whole thing just went boop. So next step, okay, so we're getting ready to install the new filter. I'm gonna give you the model number. Honda 15412 HP7A01. 15412 HP7A01. And you take it out of the box. It's got a gasket on the back that goes up on that port right there, and this will say on it outside to casing. So this is going to go basically, let me go back here. This sits like this in the housing, and this goes to the inside. Okay, you have these brackets that go around that part right there and push it in. All right, so that's where we are right now. I'm going to install that, and I'm going to clean up all this oil that's all over the place, and then we're going to fill it with oil, and we're going to put the skid plate back on, and then we should be done. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to finish this video off. I'm not finishing the service yet because we were missing the spring that's supposed to go inside the filter housing. So the owner wants me to buy the spring and install that. So I didn't put any oil in, but I'm just going to go through the final thing. So these 3 bolts, 10 millimeters on the filter housing, they're supposed to be, I think, 9 foot-pounds, something like that, 9 or 10 foot-pounds. And then I know the ones underneath, I already have the skid plates. I put all the skid plates back in place. So the there we go, right there. That's 22 foot-pounds. The other one is 22 foot-pounds. Like I said, this is either 9 or 10 foot-pounds. I would just do it till it's snug. It has an O-ring on it. Don't go crazy. Use like a 1/4 inch ratchet, and that should be good enough. If you don't have a torque wrench, if you want to use a torque wrench, go ahead. And then up in here, Again, this is the fill port, and we're putting in 6.08 quarts, 6.08 quarts, and you're supposed to add about 6 quarts or just over, and then turn it on and let it run for 5 minutes, and then let it sit for 5 minutes, and then you're supposed to check your dipstick over here and make sure it's in the right level there. It's a very small window on the thing, the 2 hash marks, and then add more as needed. So it's better to do the 6 and then to add a little bit, because if you go over, you're over, right? So, and that's it. Any questions or comments, leave it down below. Mike Machines out.